to please take your seats and give them a warm welcome.
Professor Syed Munir Khasru. He's the chairman of a very important think tank devoted to Bangladesh, the Institute for Policy, Advocacy and Governance, IPAC, Bangladesh. He just now told me that he have just opened an office in Delhi. Please welcome Professor Khasru. Let me turn to Munir, and you are the last speaker in this first round. Please let us have your views on how India is viewed by the world and what needs to be done.
Thank you. Being the only one from India's neighborhood, I'll try to speak in a language आप भी समझता है, मैं भी समझता है. मेरा हिंदी अच्छा नहीं है, काम चलता है. And मेरा ट्यूटर है आपको कैब ड्राइवर. जब तक मैं कैब में उठता है, उनको साथ हर हमेशा बात करे रहता है. और जब एयरपोर्ट पे रिटर्न जर्नी है, मैं पूछता है थोड़ा सा बताइए तो मेरा हिंदी कैसे है. सो मेरा ग्रेड अच्छा है. सो बोलता है बढ़िया है, काम चलता है. सो ये मेरा लेवल. सो विथ हिज परमिशन I'll make it very informal. India, the space I've been asked to speak, expectations in the neighborhood. Closer? It's better now? Expectations in the neighborhood. Our parental generation grew up in Indian subcontinent when India, Bangladesh, Pakistan all were one country. And as you can imagine, no matter how politics or geopolitics have played out, our deep-rooted connection, empathy, feeling remains same. Politics has not taken away the people-to-people love, affection that cut across borders. And whenever I've been in Delhi, ye dil se baat kar rahi hu, I've never felt I'm outside home. And that credit goes to people like you. And I'll give you one more example. I'm just borrowing 1 2 extra minutes stolen from my previous speakers. 2 years back, मैंने जब immigration में passport check-in कर रहा था, this gentleman who checks in passports, on a sudden tells me, मैंने तो आपका नाम देखा था. I got very worried. क्या list, क्या नाम? तो I said, जी. Then I was so surprised. He reads Hindu and Times of India. And he remembers my name. And then he tells me which one I should write more for, which one I should not. That I'm not going to tell because my friends in the media are here. I was amazed. The reason I'm starting this example, what a great country you have and how inspiring you have been to the region. When we grew up in our childhood days, our perception of India has been a country of great history, civilization, diversity, and from outside, it is your diversity, it's your plurality that amazed us. So, as a friend well-wisher, I will always say, don't let that slip away. That's what makes you Indian. That's what makes you rise to the stage. That is fundamental. Trade, economy, investment, I can keep on talking forever. But I would like to start with some basics. Since CII, since business, I will not be doing justice to my host if I don't touch some of the basic things. If India actually graduates to a fully developed economy 2047, imagine you have a middle class of 1 billion plus. Imagine what kind of market it opens for Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal. Imagine the huge success of India, how it can spill over. And in the neighborhood, even going by numbers, a 1% increase in India's GDP leads to 0.5 to 1% rise in GDP of Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka. We have a lot of stake in India's success. We have our own interest. So I would encourage that expectation from neighborhood. As the Indian business community takes helm of affairs, we see more multinational India spawning from this part of the world. I would hope your first destination would be your neighborhood. Look what's happening in North America. Of all the trade investment America does, one third goes to Canada and Mexico. Look what's happening in Europe. Of all the trade investment Germany makes, more than half goes to European countries. We should not be any different. Sad reality is trade within South Asia is not even 5% of the trade we conduct with the rest of the world. Even more sad, imagine 1.8 billion people, one fourth of global population, one of the fastest growing region in the world before the pandemic, paradoxically, which also houses one third of global poor. So there are ample opportunities and challenges. Do I still have 1 more minute? Yeah. So we have to rise to the occasion. So first would be investment, and India is a great, ideally poised nation for connectivity. India can be the hub for regional energy grid. Things are happening even as we speak. India is building a hydropower plant in Nepal. There is a lot of transmission lines bringing power from India to Bangladesh. Much more needs to happen. We need to rise on connectivity, road, rail, waterway. There is no reason why such a small region with such dense population can't connect better. Why do goods have to go en route and consumers pay a higher price because of poor connectivity? Third but not the least, more people to people interaction. We still need visas, and we make a lot of hue and cry out of this. So these would be some of the key issues I would like to harp on where we should begin. But of course, in the next couple of rounds with the moderators, as he had very cautioned us ahead of time, he'll have more probing questions. I'm looking forward to that and also engaging with the audience. Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Munir bhai. I will change the sequence of the second round. I will start with you, and you made a very, very important intervention, and there are actually not one but two. One is where politics not taking away from the importance of people-to-people contacts. That's number one. And number two, the importance of diversity and plurality. Now, can you elaborate a little more on how these two, image points, I would say, need to be improved or bettered in order to the world to see India in a better light?
How many minutes do I have now?
3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah. I'll be very frank. What happens आपका border में या आपका, it's your business. I come here as a friend and a well-wisher. When I said pluralism, diversity, I meant a country where everybody has an opportunity to view, express his or her views. Some of the things I hear recent times, even when we opened our think tank in Delhi, 90% of my friends in the media and civil society said, do not open office in Delhi. This is not the right environment. We are struggling to survive. How do you dare to come in? I came in any case. I got in. But that's not the advice I expected. That's not the image of India I would want to see. I would want to see all my Indian friends telling me, Brookings is here, Carnegie is here, why aren't you here? That is something you have to sort out. Now, taking advantage of the free and frank discussions, few things happen which in the neighborhood at times concerns us if it not upsets us. I'll give you a simple example. You saw a lot of things about Citizenship Amendment Act, CII, which came out. From our side of the border, our Prime Minister, who's known to be a very good friend of India, even she herself said it was unnecessary. आप neutrally आपको पूछिए, आज बांग्लादेश का parliament, if there was a bill, all persecuted minorities in Bangladesh's neighborhood are welcome to take refuge, except Hindus. How would it sound to you? So, आपका दिल में दुख लगता, मेरा दिल में भी दुख लगता. Why are you pointing me out and making me feel as if being Muslim is something wrong? I'm being very frank. When I come to Delhi, I forget everything because you're so warm, you're so hospitable. So going to justice to the moderator's questions, as you rise to the, I'll be very frank, leader hona chahiye, you must have a big heart. You cannot be a leader without a big heart. बड़ा भाई होना चाहिए, दिल बड़ा होना चाहिए, period. इतना एनालिसिस, थिंक टैंक, डिस्कशन कोई जरूरत नहीं है. सच बात, बड़ा होना चाहिए. स्टार्ट विद योर हार्ट. प्यार से बात करेंगे, मैं रहूंगी. नहीं करेंगे तो मैं चली जाएगी. एंड बीइंग वेरी फ्रैंक, मॉलडीव्स चल गया, नेपाल चल गया, बांग्लादेश स्टिल विद यू. डोंट लूज अस. हम लोग एक तरफ खून दिया, बांग्लादेश स्वाधीन हुआ. हम लोग का टान बहुत स्ट्रांग है. इसके लिए मैं भी बोल रहा हूं, rise above small geopolitics, small petty ethnic issues. If you want to rise to the global stage, bask in your own glory, it starts with your neighborhood. If you're not a leader in your neighborhood, you cannot be a global leader. Trust me. It starts with your neighbor. There will be difficult neighbors. You are the bigger one. You are 1.4 billion. All of us combined is not even half of you. So you ask me, is it a fair expectation? If the answer is yes, the ball is in your court. I remain optimistic. India has much to offer. And as my previous speakers alluded, you have led a great G20 leadership. You are being a great front for the developing country, Global South. We take a lot of pride and joy. And we want to take more pride and joy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me, before I come to the audience here, let me do a quick rapid fire session. And the rapid fire session is each of our. There's no hamper. It's all right. There's one thing that each of you think needs to be done to make a material difference on the positive side on the way the world sees India. To the way the world sees India. What is it that you think that should be done? 1 point. Munir.
It's tough. I would put it this way, if you're fair, just to make 1 point. I think that goes a little bit to what my colleague, Mr. Raja Mohan, had said. You have every legitimate right to feel confident, to feel buoyant, because not only of the size of the population of the great civilization you bring in. My advice as a friend, as a well-wisher would be, use it wisely, and if you are to capture the center stage, be ready. It will involve a lot of painful adjustment, sacrifice. You have to make a choice. You can't be in the center of the thing and very legitimately aspire your rightful position without making tough compromises, starting with your neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Pradeep Mehta from Cuts. Question is to Munir. Munir, you spoke about CAA. Can I ask you a question? If you look at the percentage of population of Hindus in Bangladesh or Pakistan, from 1947 to now, they've come down very drastically. That shows something. And one of the reasons why Government of India has enacted the CAA to provide protection to such minorities, particularly from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. Now, if you remember, the background to this is the Liaquat Ali Khan Pact, which was never implemented properly. So, what would be your response to this question? Thank you.
It's always good to hear from you, Pradipda, but I could see you, but I can see you there. Well, I cannot speak for Pakistan. I can speak for Bangladesh. I can tell you this much: come anytime. We take a lot of pleasure, privilege, pride in being genuinely a very tolerant, multi-ethnic country. And I can give you example. I grew up in childhood days, two of my neighbors were Hindus. There's not a single Durga Puja, as you know, Bengali Hindus do Durga Puja more than any, that we haven't eaten their prasad. There hasn't been a single Eid, even the last Eid, they haven't come to us. So I can tell you this much, that in our country, particularly the current government, there has been zero tolerance for any such thing, any sectarian ugly head up and down. The reason I brought out this thing in my remarks, this is one of those platforms we come and be very honest with each other. I won't do justice to your friendship if I have something inside my heart and something else in my mouth. So I just quoted that particular portion of the Constitution just to get you feel how you would have felt. No other thing. And regarding your allusion to number, again, I cannot speak for Pakistan, but if you ask me, a significant portion of our Hindu population, for whatever reasons, have also significantly invested in real estate and other, particularly in Kolkata side. And I think it's a good sign if they are making some savings and they have their, and you know, during partition, a lot of families got split up. So part of the families are also that side. So if some Hindus are doing financially well and they think they have enough money to also buy house in Salt Lake, I think it's good for Bangladesh, good for India. So I would tend to look at it that way, as opposed to the demographic angle. They are fleeing. No Hindu is fleeing Bangladesh, I can tell you this much. If they have made a conscious choice, there are some generations are out there, they want to, if they're perfect choice, we are not stopping them. So I'm glad you raised it, because that in a way probably may have removed some of the apprehension some people may have the audience.
So one cannot deny the data which exists. On the contrary, a point which I wanted to make was that the Muslim population in India as a percentage has expanded. We are much more tolerant and we are much more accepting. Thank you.
There is always story behind data. Who's more tolerant, less tolerant? Let's save it for some other day. Thank you.